Hello and welcome to the 13th Annual Disability Employment Awareness Month celebration. I'm Brian Willoughby from Legacy Salmon Creek Medical Center, and I'm honored to be your MC today. And I'm going to start today with a little twist. The folks from Trillium Employment Services let me know this, and it's a nice way to start a program like this. 1 year ago at this very event, Pam Yount found out that she had gotten a job at Krispy Kreme. And today she celebrates her 1-year anniversary at Krispy Kreme. And I'm hoping Pam can stand up and we can all, congratulations. And it's a great excuse to go get donuts. Today's program is sponsored by the Clark County Developmental Disabilities Advisory Board, the Greater Vancouver Chamber of Commerce, New Seasons Market, and Heathman Lodge. Our theme is employment for all. Expect, employ, empower. Today's music earlier on was provided by Rosalie Olds, and she's seeking more work. If you have any leads or you'd like to hire Rosalie for an event, contact her employment consultant, Colleen Eastlick. Colleen, can you raise your hand? Way in the back corner. Thank you to the Greater Vancouver Chamber of Commerce ambassadors and our community hosts who greeted everyone today. Our chamber ambassadors were Paul Dicker and Paulina Sanchilo. Our community hosts were Anjali Heath, Linadell Schonenberg, and Colleen Blakesley. When Mary Strelo asked me if I'd be willing to MC this event, I gave her a quick yes. I believe in this work, and I grow increasingly tired of the lingering stigma that society holds against people with disabilities. During the program today, you're going to hear terms about workers such as diligent, hardworking, integrity, and a commitment to excellence, terms that describe good workers everywhere, including those with disabilities. Hiring a person with disabilities does not constitute a handout. Rather, it illustrates the benchmark of all good hiring. Find talented people, give them meaningful work, and achieve success. That's what we're celebrating here today. Thank you all for joining us. I know we have some elected officials and dignitaries with us today, including the Mayor of Vancouver in his summer attire, County Administrator Mark McCauley. I saw Larry Smith. There's also a lot of people running for office at this time of year. I'd like anybody, an elected official, any other dignitaries, please, and people running for office, please rise, raise your hand, let us see who you are, and I'd like to give you a round of applause for your service to the community. And now it's my pleasure to introduce Ann Larson, Chair of the Clark County Developmental Disabilities Advisory Board. Ann?
The purpose of Clark County's Developmental Disability Advisory Board is to advise and make recommendations to our Board of County Commissioners concerning developmental disabilities. We also provide leadership and input on the improvement of developmental disability services in our community. And we assist the Developmental Disabilities Program, which is a part of Clark County's Department of Community Services, with updating and maintaining of the Developmental Disabilities Comprehensive Plan. Clark County has a plan. We hold public meetings every other month on the first Wednesday of the month at 5:15 p.m. in the Center for Community Health. And these are open to anyone to attend. They're very informative meetings. Next meeting is November 5th, and you can contact Clark County Department of Community Services or Mary Strello to get information about that and perhaps get on the email list for notices and agendas. It's a great way to keep up with issues affecting people with disability in our community, also on a state level, hear information about resources, lots about employment, but all aspects of one's life, housing, leisure. Recently we talked about light signals. There's big changes going on in the county with light signals. So at any rate, November 5th, come and join us. This is a volunteer board, and right now I would ask my fellow members of the board to stand and be recognized for giving their time and talent. Stand up. Thank you. The dedicated staff of the Clark County Developmental Disabilities Program work very hard to improve services for individuals in our county. And would Mary Strello and her Developmental Disabilities Program staff please stand up? Thank you. The National Observance of Disability Employment Awareness Month has two purposes. The first is to educate Americans about disability employment issues, and the second is to celebrate. We celebrate the many and varied contributions of workers with disabilities. This year's U.S. Department of Labor theme is Expect, Employ, Empower, and that's our local theme too here in Clark County. Assistant Secretary of Labor for Disability Employment Policy, that's a mouthful, but an Assistant Secretary of Labor, Kathy Martinez, she made some powerful remarks about this theme, and I want to focus just a moment on the education piece before we get to the party piece, which is the celebration piece, which is the awards. This year's theme, she said, 3 powerful words: expect, employ, empower. Advancing disability employment is it's much more than hiring. It's about creating a continuum of inclusion, and the first step is expectation. She noted that the conversation about disability has changed for the better in recent years. She said, one message has resounded loud and clear. The way forward is about choosing and building inclusion. Individual programs and policies are important, but can't stand alone to create progress. It takes all of us, disabled or not, to take a role in shaping a societal culture of inclusion. I am largely preaching to the choir here today, I think. Most people in this room are well aware of disability employment. You are an employee who has a disability. You are a loved one or a friend of a person with disability. You may work as a service provider for a person who lives with developmental disability or find jobs for a person. You may be a disability advocate. You may be an employer of or a coworker of a person living with developmental disability. You may be a government leader who supports policies benefiting those with a developmental disability. You get it. You understand. You are educated. You are all ambassadors, if you will, every day. All of us are. You can educate others who don't know by talking about your jobs, your loved ones, your employees, your friends, your coworkers. You can support the employers here in Vancouver, in Clark County, who embrace diversity. If you know of a business owner or manager who might not know about disability employment, then you can bring them to next year's event. Inform people about what is possible and what is happening. That is how we create a continuum of inclusion. That's how we create expectation. So thank you. Now we're on to celebrate.
Thank you, Leanne. And now I direct everybody's attention to the screen. We have a video that's been prepared for today.
My role right now is the CEO president. I was the one that started the company, so it kind of means everything and anything from selling, helping customers, to doing videos, product demos, and then just making sure the team's doing, fulfilled and make sure that they have the tools they need to succeed at their job. We help people print t-shirts, help populate the world with awesome shirts. Jesse came to work at Ryanet through one of our contacts. They'd actually come to classes, I believe, through the ARC of Clark County, and he somehow got hooked up with one of our warehouse managers. They proposed the option of having us work with him, and we decided it'd be interesting to try it out.
I've been at Ryanet for 2 years. I take out the garbage, I sweep, I take out the recycling. I feel like I help Ryanet a whole lot.
IQ Credit Union is really a banking alternative. At the credit union, we are a financial cooperative who are owned by our members, and we can really serve any individuals that have business and personal needs. Supported employment is really a partnership with a third-party company that will help another company like IQ Credit Union develop, train, and transition employees with disabilities. Andy got to IQ Credit Union 21 years ago when the owner of Keys to Advancement partnered with IQ to really find a mutually beneficial relationship for Andy and the credit union.
First of all, our employment consultants meet with our job seekers in order to do a wide variety of discovery and determine their gifts and abilities that they can bring to the workforce. So we are there to provide any assistance needed between the team that supports the employee.
He comes to the credit union on a C-van. He goes down to the basement, he sets up his work area, and he starts to shred. He can vacuum, and he's also been trained on our safety and security measures, so in the event of a fire drill, he knows the proper steps to get out of the building and ensure that everyone's safe.
But having Jesse here every day, making sure that all the garbages are taken out, making sure everything's swept and cleaned, the warehouse stays clean. And that's very important to me personally. I'm a clean guy. I like to run a clean show. So it's awesome that we moved into a new building, kind of took that role on, and he's done a great job just making sure it stays, spick and span. When somebody feels fulfilled, somebody feels excited to wake up every day, they're just going to have a better, atmosphere around them, which is going to attribute to a better community in whole.
Working with the guys is the best thing of working here at Ryanet. Every time that we do a gather up, that makes me feel like a part of the team. Whenever I do videos like this, that makes me feel important.
Jesse came to me once and asked if he could do one of our videos, because he saw a lot of our videos on YouTube. We've watched a couple of them. We do some music videos, and he asked, hey, can I print a shirt in a video? So we set up this video where he actually printed his first t-shirt, and Jesse had a blast. He printed a shirt, and we finished with like an AC/DC song playing in the background, which is one of his favorite songs.
And pull it back. Okay, and let's do that one more time. See if you can go just a little slower with it.
Nice, Jess.
All right, go ahead and put the squeegee back here. What do you think of that?
I think it's
I think it's awesome.
I I think it's excellent.
Nice. You want to show the camera?
Cause I'm TNT, I'm dynamite. TNT.
Awesome. Good job, Jesse. High five.
Way to go, bud. Woohoo!
Working with Jesse and having the team really connect with him on a different level really helps them feel like they're making a difference, not just in what we do as a business, but in the community in general. I think when a company can give their team a sense of involvement, that connection, an ability to do something outside of just making business work, it really helps you as a team, as a company, become stronger, become better, and as a result, you're more successful.
A large part of our partnership with IQ Credit Union has been developing Andy's skills over time. 21 years ago, when Andy first started working for IQ, he was employed as a document shredder and was able to provide that service. However, with one-on-one supports from an employment consultant at Keys to Advancement, Andy has been able to not only transition from one location to another location, but also develop new skills and abilities to meet the employer's needs. The mission of Keys to Advancement is to enhance the quality of people's lives, and we believe that that's accomplished through employment.
This job has really benefited Andy in that his development and communication has improved remarkably. He also really does enjoy coming to work every day and being part of the IQ family. Supported employment can increase the value, teamwork, morale. It can save institutions money. I think that organizations just really need to find a creative solution in employing individuals with disabilities.
That video was by videographer Mike Ferry. Mike, will you stand, please?
That was a great video. Part of the team and part of the family. Those phrases were used in the two different businesses, and that's really what all of us want to be, is just to feel connected, to have that daily connection in your workplace. So that's great. I'm lucky now I get to introduce somebody who gets that completely. Pete Campbell is our guest speaker today. Pete graduated from Oregon State University with a degree in civil engineering. He worked as an engineer consultant for 17 years before becoming Clark County Public Works Director in 1997. That's when Pete began working with supported employees. In January this year, Pete became the city administrator for the city of Camas. He's lived in Clark County for 27 years with his wife and now grown children. Pete?
Thanks, Brian. When Mary Strelo called me and asked me if I would do this, it was a great honor because this really is important to me. And in fact, I was in Wenatchee first part of this week, and I had to drive back from Wenatchee this afternoon in order to get here for this, but I wouldn't miss it. So I've really been looking forward to this week and this event. In Wenatchee, I was at the American Public Works Association conference, and it just so happened that yesterday they had a golf tournament, and I hit my very first hole-in-one, and my team won. So I'm still kind of grasping in the glory of that, so this is something that really tops off a great week. I began my involvement in this program about 12 years ago. As Brian said, I was the Public Works Director for Clark County, and Mary Strelo and Bill Barron, the county administrator, asked me if we could take on some developmentally disabled employees. And because we were a large department and could find that work, we agreed to do that. Plus, we're kind of had a lot of pride in doing things well, and we knew that if asked, we could do that, and what the heck, my boss asked me to do that, so I took it on. But it was not my initiative, it wasn't my passion, but we hired 4 developmentally disabled employees, and I'm proud to say that 3 of them are still working for Clark County Public Works today, almost 12 years later. And it has made a great difference for that organization and those people. And the 4th person, and that was a learning thing as well, it needs to be the right position and it needs to have the right people that work with that supported employee for it to be a success. And one of the 4 really wasn't a good slot. But I'm really proud to say that that 4th person now works for me in Camas and is doing a fantastic job and really is brings a lot of value to the organization. And in hindsight, again, it was not my idea, my initiative, but in the 17 years at Clark County, it was probably the initiative that I'm most proud of. So, in talking to people in this room, I was asked to say, you know, what is the value of hiring developmentally disabled people? Well, you all know it. It's the rest of the world that we need to really teach. But from my perspective, my experience has shown that from the business perspective, that people with developmental disabilities are some of the most loyal, dedicated, and hardworking people in the workforce. On a personal perspective, people with developmental disabilities are the most underemployed segment of our workforce, and giving them an opportunity builds their self-esteem, pride, and a level of independence. It makes a positive difference not only in their lives, but in their family as well. It also brings great diversity to the workplace. The rest of the employees will develop patience, a better understanding, and a lot of joy. And I think back in my experiences with these 4 individuals, and it's a warm feeling, but I also laugh. There's so many fun things. I came in here tonight, and Jesse, who was on the video, worked as an intern for us for a period of time before his current job. And he was standing outside my office one day, and someone came in and said, "Will you sign this for me?" And in jest, I said, geez, work. I have now, I don't know how many years that's been, but I cannot see Jesse without him telling me, oh, work. So it's really great. And from that perspective, there's also the warm feeling. And one of the employees that worked for me, his mother sent me a note that talked about the value that it and self-esteem and pride that it gave her son and the benefits that it provided them as a family. And I keep that note because it's special and it's going to go right next to that golf ball. So I have been recognized for the things that I have done to support this program, but I can assure you that I have received far more than I've given. So thank you.
And now we'll begin the awards portion of the program. For all the people who are going to receive awards, please come up to the stage on this side and receive the award. And then Annie Becker is taking photos for us today. And if you just pause on that step as you exit, Annie will snap your picture, and then you can move on down. So just be sure and have that pause on the step so that she can get a good photograph of you. And now I'll bring Mayor Tim Levitt to the microphone.
Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am elated to be here again this year to celebrate great accomplishments in our community when it comes to inclusion and supporting the developmentally disabled here in Southwest Washington. You know, I've had the pleasure of participating in this event every year since I have become mayor, and I want to tell you that I think it's very important that we celebrate the successes here in Vancouver and Southwest Washington, because there's a lot of negativity out there, right now. And when we come together as a community like this, we focus on the positive, we celebrate our successes and our accomplishments, and I think it kind of returns us back to a more positive focus for where we are now and where we're headed. And specifically, I just want to say, you saw the video here with Jesse at Ryanette, and I want to say I had an opportunity to visit Ryanette and the business here a few years back, and as mayor of our community, I just want to recognize a new company that has come to Vancouver and has grown and become very successful. The owner of the company is here, Ryan Moore, in the back of the room. Ryan, you want to raise your hand? Let's give Ryan a hand, ladies and gentlemen. You bet. A great corporate citizen, and we need more good corporate citizens. We're going to recognize a few of those here, but are doing well business-wise in our community and are willing to give back some of those profits to our community in the way of supporting employment like we're talking about today, or volunteerism. And so, you know, it's one of those aspects of Vancouver and Southwest Washington that I get to hear on a regular basis about from others who have come into our community. And they say to me, can't believe how giving Vancouver is, the businesses, how many people volunteer, how philanthropic this community is, and people giving back. And this is just another example that we celebrate today. And incidentally, Jesse, I was at the gym today getting a little bit of a workout, and AC/DC, a couple songs came on from AC/DC, and I love it. It's great workout music. I'm right there with you, buddy. In fact, I'm going to see if I can get one of those shirts from Ryan. Okay, so on with the recognition, and our first is Employer of the Year in a Private Small Business, and this recognition for 2014 goes to IQ Credit Union, and yeah, you bet. You want me to cover this? Okay. So let me tell you a little bit about IQ, and then if Imogen Patrick would come up and accept the award, that would be awesome. So IQ Credit Union demonstrates the core value that truly exemplifies the kind of partnerships needed to build a great community for all people. IQ has embraced Andy Lambert for over 21 years as a valued employee. 21 years, that's awesome. Hope I can have a job for 21 years. Yeah. Maybe not the job I'm in right now. We'll see. I don't think I can make it 21 years. So Andy has been extremely committed and supportive coworkers. Over the years, they've been creative in developing supports to allow Andy to continue moving forward on his employment path. He is part of their team and a valuable and productive employee. IQ recognizes that supported employment has a valuable impact on their business, and apparently have recently taken steps to hire a second person. IQ Credit Union, you bet. We as a community want to say thank you very much for your commitment, IQ Credit Union, and if Ms. Patrick will come forward, please.
I just want to say on behalf of IQ Credit Union, I appreciate Key's nomination, and working with Andy and Ronnie has been a pleasure. It brings a great work environment. They're great guys, and I just want to thank everybody and the board for giving us this award. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, our next recognition, ladies and gentlemen, is for Employer of the Year in a private large business, and this employer is SEH America. Yeah. Okay, Teresa, come on down. SEH America over the years has hired 20 supported employees, 20 supported employees. From the executive level on down, they are focused on leading and have opened thousands of doors for people with different skill sets. SEH America teaches all their employees the importance of ethics, partnerships, and quality. Your employees, their families, and the community are indebted to you. Congratulations, Teresa, and thank you.
See if I can multitask here. So, of course, this award would not be possible without, as many people have talked about, our close partnership with Employers Overload and their staff, who are excellent. They work with our employees in the supported employment department every day to make sure they're trained and providing all the support that they need in their job. And I also have to thank the executive management team at SEH America, because they have supported this program. I think it's been at SEH for over 20 years, 25 years? Okay. So yeah, so they definitely deserve a round of applause for allowing this program to be at SEH. Thank you.
Okay, and we will continue with the public sector, and if County Administrator Mark McCauley would please come up to the microphone. Please welcome Mark.
Boy, I feel at a real disadvantage following two dynamic personalities, Pete Campbell and Mayor Levitt. You know, the energy in this room is palpable. I can feel it, and I'm just motivated beyond belief when I participate in this event. And two of the folks that Pete hired work in the public service center downtown next to the courthouse. And whenever I run into one of those employees, my mood improves dramatically, because they're so cheerful and enthusiastic about their day. And, you know, Paul Brown, who's sitting back there, and Kevin Pearsall are two that come to mind. They're busy and energetic, and I just love running into them throughout the day. Now, Mary Strelo has invited me to do this 2 years running, and she always calls up and asks for permission to schedule me. And Mary, you don't have to ask anymore. Okay? Just put me on the calendar. And tonight I want to make a commitment to you all. You know, I've always been inspired by Pete Campbell. He's the guy that hired me into Clark County government. And I was talking to somebody, and I said, I bet you Pete, in the short months he's been out at Camas, has already hired a developmentally disabled person, and sure enough, he has. And so I'm going to commit to you today that when I stand before you next year, I will report that we have doubled the number of employees at Clark County in the supported employment program. I've met a number of people here that I think I can say are tremendous resources that will help me meet that commitment, because if I haven't doubled it, I might have to send somebody else to talk to you. Okay, now on to the public sector awardees. The Employer of the Year in a public business is the Marshall Community Center. Now, accepting the award is Andy Mead, the Center Director of the Marshall Center, and employees Mindy Irwin and Ted Goad. The Marshall Center has treated their supported employees with the utmost respect and dignity. They look beyond issues to understand the needs of their employees, and the way they work always includes positive support. They collaborate with their employees, encourage strong support from coworkers, and promote success and growth. The leadership at the Marshall Center continues to touch and inspire the lives of many in Clark County. Congratulations.
Ma'am, you're turning off the lights. Can you push the top button? Thank you.
Well, I appreciate the effort to better the mood, but again, my name is Andy Mead. I'm the Center Director at Marshall Community Center, and certainly I have the privilege of accepting this award, but I want to say that the Supported Employee Program is an entire team effort within the City of Vancouver, starting with our wonderful mayor and city leadership down to every department that's had supported employees. And really who I want to focus on this afternoon is our two supported employees, the superstars of Marshall, Ted Goad and Mindy Irwin. I want to echo everything that's been said today about the benefits of supported employees. As a testament to the success of our supported employees program, both Ted and Mindy are going on 14 years with the City of Vancouver, all of which have been with the Marshall program or campuses. Like I said, they are complete rock stars on the campus. I'm always amazed that when I take a vacation or away for a while, no one seems to notice, but when Ted or Mindy are gone, people notice. Mindy works in our facility side, and she assists both internal customers and external customers in our facility rentals and programs, so she's always there making those special events truly special. She's just irrepressibly cheery, optimistic, and we have her celebratory fist bump every day. She is always there supporting her other employees. She always has a kind word, and she's always, if she's able to, help you out in any capacity. So I've been so delighted to see that her growth over the last couple of years. Mindy constantly looks for new challenges, and that's what we really appreciate. She's not content to just keep doing her same duties. She asks for more, and unlike myself, she's willing to take some constructive input on how she can improve, and is very conscientious about that. So thank you, Mindy. Ted Goad also is going on 14 years. He works in our fitness department. And he is the one that keeps those fitness pieces of equipment very clean, and we constantly get positive input of how clean a fitness center that we have. Ted, you know, you might have heard that marketing campaign about the world's most interesting man. I think they cast the wrong fellow. Ted is the world's most interesting man. He has such a dynamic life story, and every time I think I've heard everything or figured out everything about Ted, I find out something new. As I mentioned, he works in the fitness center, but also has lived fitness. He actually competed in bodybuilding with the Special Olympics, and sometimes when Ted finds we find each other in the fitness center, and he's cleaning those lower racks of weights, you can still he'll pull up, and do you want to show him your Popeye forearms there, Ted? He's still got it. And I always say it's very appropriate because him and I as a team, we fill out the full cartoon cast. He's Popeye, and I got the midsection of Bluto and the arms of Olive Oil. So Ted also was an avid bowler with Special Olympics, and he's done, again, many stories. So I think we mentioned so much about how they positively impact, and I think in many instances we really underestimate the inspiration they provide, because I know sometimes when I'm having a challenging day, you know, I just have to reflect on what Mindy and Ted have overcome just to be at work every day. It certainly puts some context on some of my problems that seem insurmountable, so thank you. Oh, I did promise Mindy and Ted if they would like to say something, they could.
Well, I should say, you know, even though I have a family here too, so as well as much as all of you do, you know, it's been a long time since I've been at Marshall Center, and you know, I'm the one that cleans everything, and so I kind of like do my duty, and I'll do it again. So it's kind of awesome. And that's the way I see it.
That's why we have Mindy and Ted to support me.
I just wanted to say thank you for everybody I work with. Thank you for my mom and dad, the countless, endless support that they give me every day. Thank you for everybody that I work with, and thank God. Amen.
Okay, next we have the Public Employee of the Year Award. Tim Lee. Yeah, Tim works for SEH America. Tim has been a phenomenal worker with great integrity at SEH America for over 18 years. He works in the warehouse and delivers mail across all areas of the SEH site. He models for everyone how to work hard and have a great time doing so. He has a relentless work ethic and has earned raises and increases in his hours and duties as a result. He has an incredibly beautiful candor about him which cannot be fabricated or bought. He is also extremely diligent, willing to get things done without complaint or disrespect, and always goes beyond expectations to achieve excellence in his work. Congratulations, Tim.
I get the honor to give the Dennis Campbell Outstanding Service Award. And for those of you who know Dennis, he is a longtime advocate for people living with disability, and he's made major contributions to enhancing the quality of life for many in our community. And so the nominees for this award must demonstrate outstanding service to improving the lives of individuals with developmental disabilities. And this person fits the bill, you will see. So today, the person who is awarded the Dennis Campbell Outstanding Service Award is Karen Krejcha. I'm going to tell you a little bit about Karen. As a child, Karen wanted to change the world. She was labeled a genius, a tomboy, and an imaginative spirit, but inside she felt confused and socially awkward. Since she didn't fit the world, she thought she would change the world to fit her. Over the years, she gravitated toward children with differing abilities. She married, had 2 sons diagnosed with autism spectrum disorders, and at age 40 was diagnosed with ASD herself, and her life made a whole lot more sense. She is intense, brilliant, dedicated, and passionate. She co-founded Autism Empowerment, 501c3 in Vancouver in 2011, and has been its executive director ever since. Her vision in Clark County is of an inclusive society that accepts and respects all youth and adults and empowers each person to reach his or her highest potential. She focuses on supporting individuals and families impacted by autism, but many of the programs, workshops, and events she runs are offered free to the entire Clark County community. Also, I would add, on a national level. Many of the programs are done on a national level. Just want to tell you briefly my own experience earlier this year with Karen. I had been at some community events, and some people made me aware of some needs that their adult loved ones, children with autism had, needed an environment to socially connect. And there wasn't really anything for adults on the spectrum here in Clark County. There were some Portland groups, but not in Clark County. Beyond some great things that Parks and Recreation does. There wasn't anything else. So I called up Darla Hilt and I said, Darla, we need to do something. What do we do? And she said, come to my leadership class and talk to the group about this, and let's brainstorm as a group some things that we can get going in our community. Sure enough, I think it was 2 days before or the day of, I get an email, Autism Empowerment, Karen is putting together a group of adults on the spectrum in Clark County. And that's what she does. She identifies the need, follows through, and finds solutions. She meets the needs in our county. We're very, very, very blessed to have her here. So I'm very excited that she is being recognized for all the energy that she puts in. Thank you.
Wow. So my first impression when I walked in the room was, there's a lot of people in here. And my second impression was, I better sit on the aisle so if I need to make a quick exit, I can get out. Social awkwardness is something that has followed me around ever since I was a little girl, and it remains with me to this day. Another thing that's followed me around is always wanting to help the underdog. When I was a little kid, I was bullied a lot. Back when I was growing up, there wasn't autism or Asperger's talk like it is today. In the 60s, 70s, Asperger's wasn't even a term until 1994 in the DSM. So I was one of those socially awkward, quirky, eccentric kids that like to talk about my special interests nonstop. And there's a whole generation of us that are like that too. It isn't that autism or Asperger's didn't exist back then, it's just that we looked a little bit different. And I grew up in the Silicon Valley, so fortunately I had the blessing to be around a lot of people that were quite like myself. And that was pretty awesome. I'm very nervous. So I just want to say, when I was a little girl in elementary school, they asked what I wanted to be when I grew up. And everybody came up to the front of the room and they'd read their essays. And at the time, I'd been bullied. And I was trying to decide whether I would go up there and say I want to be a teacher or I wanted to be the president. And I decided on the president for a couple different reasons. One, I just thought that it was really important to have somebody in power that would make everybody be nice to each other. And another reason was I wanted to get my bully in trouble who was sitting in the front row. The third reason, though, was that I really thought it was important for everybody who's out there to have equal opportunities in this world. You know, a lot of times in the autism community and the disabilities community, people talk at us and don't always include us in the conversation. And there's something very common in our community: nothing for us without us. And so Autism Empowerment was founded with 4 pillars: accept, enrich, inspire, and empower. And we are totally dedicated to including individuals on the spectrum with all disabilities in the conversation to drive programs and services that are going to show the respect and dignity that we all deserve. But it's not just about people with autism. It isn't just about people with disabilities. We do want to build an inclusive society so that no matter what it is that we're experiencing, we all have challenges. None of us are perfect. God's given us all gifts, and to build a society which allows each one of us to be able to find those gifts and passions and be able to turn them around into something productive and long-lasting. And for us to just not look at disability as people that are different, but to look at the abilities and the gifts that each one of us has, and to realize that in the end, we're all human. And so I want to thank everybody for this award. God called me along this path, and My husband, John, has been very supportive. When I said a few years ago that we'd been called to found a nonprofit organization and that, by the way, we weren't going to probably be employed for a few years, we're going to do it as a volunteer thing until it got going and it was big enough, we're going to make it work. He was there all along. And I want to thank my children, who are my inspiration, Justin and Ryan, who are sitting out there. Ryan has personal friends with the mayor. And I know I'm being long-winded here. That's one of the bonuses of being on the spectrum. We can ramble, and unless I see your eyes glaze over, I'm not going to know that you're done with me, and then I won't stop. But I see my husband glazing over, so I think that's my cue to thank everybody again, and just say I'm very humbled, and I look forward to working with every single one of you. Together, we can all do awesome things to make our community stronger.
Thank you very much, Karen. I've had the pleasure of participating in some of those events over the years that Karen and John and their family have supported, and it's always a delightful engagement, whether it's an Easter egg hunt or, you know, a fundraiser for a summer camp program or something of the sort. And I tell you what, Karen, I mean, you have the gift of gab and extemporaneous speechifying, so maybe you should run for office. Yeah. Okay, well now, folks, we want to recognize a number of employers who have demonstrated outstanding hiring practices and a commitment to the employment of individuals with developmental disabilities. So the advisory board, the City of Vancouver, the Greater Vancouver Chamber of Commerce, New Seasons Market, and the Heathman Lodge want to commend each of these businesses for their efforts. And by the way, let me just say, I know most of you saw on your way in, we had two individuals, Paulina and Paul from the Chamber of Commerce, that were here in the red jackets. Did you see them when you came in? You know, those folks are volunteers, community members from the chamber. They're chamber ambassadors, and for public events like this, important events like this, they come and they help greet folks coming in and direct you to where you're supposed to be seated. So I just want to recognize and thank those individuals for being there at nearly every event like this and volunteering their time to help us make sure we get where we need to be. So would you help me please thank the Chamber of Commerce folks? Thank you. Yeah. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to read you some of the, well, not some, but all of the businesses that that we want to recognize this year. And as I name your business, if representatives who are here would please stand up so that we can acknowledge you as a group and thank you for your efforts. And then after the ceremony, if you'll please come up, and we have a certificate up here for you. Somewhere over here. Oh, I'm sorry, right over here. Yeah. Come up after the ceremony to grab your certificate. We'd appreciate it. Okay, first up is Anderson Dairy. Is Anderson Dairy here today? Okay, Anderson Dairy. Thank you very much. How about the Knights of Pythias Retirement Center? Are the Knights here? Okay. Dick Hanna Honda, Kia, and Fast Specialties. Dick Hanna. Krispy Kreme on Andreessen. Angel Brook Senior Living. Angel Brook. Elmer's Restaurant on Northeast 40th Street. Yeah. Yeah. Best Western Battleground. Adventure Dental. And we have Safeway stores on Main Street and Northeast 162nd Avenue. Papa John's Rose City Pizza. Where's Papa John's? The Sportsman Warehouse. Yeah. The Southwest Washington Child Care Consortium and Nuremberg Center. Yeah. The Low Bar in downtown Vancouver. Yeah. That was another bicep flex, I think. Might give Todd a run for the money. Rite Aid on 162nd Avenue. The Home Depot on Andreessen Road. Sunlight Supply. All right. The Clark College Child and Family Studies Center. Clark College. Penguin Nation's in the house. The City of Camas. A number of great businesses, I mentioned it earlier, that are really doing their part to help raise awareness and create that continuum of inclusiveness. So thank you to all those businesses. Again, please come up after the ceremony to pick up your certificate, because I know you'll want to display those prominently in the lobby of your business, all right? Okay, County Administrator McCauley, back to the podium.
Okay, now we're going to recognize individuals who were nominated because of their exceptional performance as employees and the unique contributions they make on a daily basis. Like the mayor said, when I call your name, would you please stand? And following the ceremony, if you would come up and get your certificate, that would be appreciated. Okay, here we go. We got a pretty sizable number of these. All right, James Carter with Walmart. Kimberly Daniels with Southwest Washington Child Care Consortium. Jeremiah Johnson, City of Camas. Rosalie Olds at Angel Brook Senior Living. Raquel Paul with Safeway. Bhupinder Singh with Rite Aid. Andrew Shaner at Green Willow Trucking. Ben Fisher at Clark Community College Child and Family Studies Center. There he is right there. Aaron Casey at Adventure Dental. Good. Ruth Petty at Fast Specialties. Hi, Ruth. Katoon Pithavong at Fast Specialties. Joshua Swingle, New Seasons Market in Vancouver. Dylan Williams with Home Depot. Jeff Eisensee at Sunlight Supply. There he is right there. And finally, Kathleen Borden at Low Bar. Yeah.
Okay, as you heard earlier, the Dennis Campbell Outstanding Service Award recognizes individuals in our community who make a difference in the lives of individuals with disabilities every day. And so I'm going to introduce the other nominees for this award. Please stand and please come to the awards table at the end to get your certificate. So I want to recognize Melissa Gavin from Applegate Arabians. And Kenny and Sue Fletcher from Paper Tiger Coffee Roasters. Thank you.
And now I'd invite Jim Corey, Senior Program Manager for the Washington Initiative for Supportive Employment, to the podium for the final portion of today's program.
Hi, everybody. Before Brian's closing comments, I wanted to draw your attention to the proclamations that we have around the room. Both the Clark County, City of Camas, City of Vancouver, and the City of Battleground have all made proclamations that we've blown up here for you to see, recognizing October as Disability Employment Awareness Month. And so we want to thank those cities. Also, I wanted to thank the Clark County Developmental Disabilities Advisory Board for hosting this event, and our sponsors, the Greater Vancouver Chamber of Commerce, the Heathman Lodge, and New Seasons Market. New Seasons... Oh. New Seasons actually donated all the flowers that were given to the awardees and the bouquets, and so I want to give Ann Larson the one bouquet on the end of the room here, and then I want to give the one on the other end to one of your champions of disability employment here in Clark County, Mary Strelo. Okay, I'll give you back to Brian.
It's nice to see Mary Strelo blush. You know, I moved away from Vancouver for 4 years, and today's program is a big reminder of why I'm so happy to move back. This community is powerful. At every turn, I see people rising up and doing the right thing, and we should all be proud to be part of this community. In an ironic twist, Dennis Campbell and I go to church together. I've known Dennis for years through our church, and we say something at church, make the world a better place, and that's what all of you do. Please remain for a while and enjoy the reception in the back. And we need all people who won an award today to come up to the front for a group photograph at the end. So if you've received an award and you're coming up to get your certificate or whatever, just stay up here for a little while and Annie will coordinate you and we'll get a final photograph. Thank you all for coming.
severe plex.